Hello and welcome to another interesting English language class. My name is Precious Balogun. Our theme for today is literacy skills, writing for communication. And our topic is letter writing, informal letter. By the end of this lesson, you should be able to explain what an informal letter is, list types of informal letters, and lastly, write an informal letter using the appropriate layout. There are different skills we need to have as English students, and writing is one of such skills. Writing is a process of using the letters of the alphabet, that is the English alphabet, to pass on information or ideas to our readers. Now, writing can be very fun, especially when you are telling people about your idea or concept. Let's take a look at the types of writing that we have. There are different types of writing. We have article writing, descriptive writing, expository writing, letter writing, and so on. For this lesson, our focus will be on letter writing, and we'll be looking at the informal letter writing. Now, what is an informal letter? An informal letter is a friendly letter written to your friends or relatives. Now, this kind of letter can be written to your boss, business partners, clients, or whomever you have a non-professional or personal relationship with. I'm sure you'll be surprised when I say your boss. Yes, if you have a friendly relationship with your boss, you can write an informal letter, which is a personal letter to your boss. Now, this letter can be written to pass a message, news, give advice, congratulate the recipient, make a request, ask a question, and so on. Examples of informal letters include a letter of advice, a letter of apology, a letter of request, congratulatory letter, and so on. Having known what an informal letter is, let's take a look at the language of an informal letter. The informal letter is different from the formal letter. It is written in a more personal format. Here, we make use of slangs and colloquial languages. These languages are characterized by our everyday conversation. That means they are words we use on a daily basis. Also, the language of an informal letter requires you to ask questions like, how are you? How is your family? How is life treating you? And so on. It mustn't be these questions listed, but you can ask questions to the recipient of your letter. The informal letter, as I said earlier, is a letter written in a personal tone to your friends and relatives. But note that this letter does not have a particular format or pattern. It is written at the writer's discretion. Now, let's take a look at a conventional informal letter format. Although this letter is written at the writer's discretion, we also have a conventional format for an informal letter. It is made up of the address, the date, the salutation, the introductory paragraph, the body, the closing, and the signature. Now, let's take a look at these headings one after the other. Note that the first thing you see in an informal letter is the address, which is made up of the number and the street name, city, state, country, and maybe the postal code of the writer. And this is found at the top right corner of the page. Next, we have the date. The date is very important because it helps the reader know when the letter was written for proper recording. The date is found immediately after the address, and it is made up of the day, month, and year. Here are different ways we can write the date. We can write it as 12th June, 2020, or June 12, 2020, or 12/06/2020. Next, we have the salutation. Salutation is greeting. This is the first greeting you give to the recipient of your letter. And most times we start with dear. You can say dear, then the name of the person or the title of the person followed by the name, depending on your relationship with the person. Let's take a look at some examples. You can say, Dear Mr. Collins, Dear Boma, Dear Mom, or Dear Dr. Sam. Moving on, we have the introductory paragraph, also known as the opening sentence. This sets the tone of the letter. Let's take a look at examples of questions we can ask when we want to begin our letter. You can ask questions like, how are you? How have you been? Or, how is your family? Also, in a situation where you received a letter or a gift from the person, here is an opportunity for you to acknowledge the person in your letter. Now, let's take a look at the body of the letter. The body comes just after the introductory paragraph. This is the main reason or purpose for writing. Remember that as you state the purpose of writing, the tone of this letter is that of a friendly and personal tone. But when writing to an elderly one, remember to add respect or politeness in your writing. Next, we'll be looking at the closing section. The closing section is where you summarize your letter. This is where you conclude on all that you have to say to the recipient. Let's take a look at examples of your closing sentences. We have, I am looking forward to seeing you. I can't wait to hear from you. I hope to hear from you soon. And also, my regards to your family. With this, you are good to go. Now, let's take a look at the last section, which is signature. The signature is the last section of the letter. Now, in an informal letter, there is no rule for signing off. Depending on your relationship with the person, just look for something that will help maintain your friendship or relationship. Let's take a look at some examples. You can say, best regards, lots of love, or best wishes. There are countless things you can say, but just choose rightly and remember to be as personal as possible. Now, let's take a look at an example of an informal letter. Here is a typical example of an informal letter. Remember, we said we have the address, and then we have the date. Also, we have the salutation, followed by the introductory paragraph. And then we have the body, which tells the main reason for writing. And then we have the closing sentence, followed by the signing off. I'm sure you now know all about the informal letter and how to write one. But before we go, let's take a quick summary of all we've learned so far. We've learned that an informal letter is a friendly or personal letter written to friends or relatives in a personal fashion. Lastly, we've learned that an informal letter consists of the following: the address, the date, the salutation, the introductory paragraph, the body, the conclusion, and the signature. Having done all this, let's answer some test questions. Question 1. Which of the following best describes an informal letter? A. It is addressed to someone you have no friendly relationship with. B. It is addressed to a person you have a professional relationship with. C. it is addressed to someone you have a non-professional relationship with. Or D, it is a very long letter. The correct answer is C. Question 2. Which of the following is not part of an informal letter? A. The heading. B. The salutation. C. The body. D. The address. The correct answer is A. This is where we draw the curtain for today's class. Until we meet again in our next class, see you and bye!